A week after a deadly fire that destroyed the Days Inn in Kittery, there are still few answers as to how and why the building caught fire.
It wasn't until the next day when investigators discovered a body in the rubble, but determining who died has proven difficult. No one has come forward to report anyone missing. With the damage from the fire making it impossible to tell if the remains are male or female, the medical examiner's office is working to determine if dental records and other methods could be helpful in the identification process.
The hotel owner told investigators his records were lost in the fire and he did not keep a guest list, which is required by law. It remains unclear if another person is still unaccounted for following the fire. And while the hotel had working smoke alarms, officials said it did not have a sprinkler system. The hotel was not required to have a fire suppression system because it was built in 1956.